We shot in like an abandoned glass warehouse where there was literally glass shattered all over the floor, and then we had babies there, so we had to tell parents, be like, so FYI, don't put your baby down. I know you're probably not going to, and then we have to tattoo your baby also, but that was another story. But yeah, I think it's just, I mean, whether the budget's, you know, a couple hundred or a couple of thousand, I think that you have to just find a way to make it work. I think it's easier to say like, well, if I had $1 million, I can do it well. But it's like, no, not necessarily, because really, I mean, there's $1 million movies that look horrible. So it's really about finding the passion to do it well, and then the creativity to tell the story well, with as much money you have or you don't.
Low budget, you know, I agree with you. Low budget, you know, goes across the spectrum. You know, I had taken films to film festivals that cost $5,000, and they'd be like, "You're going up against this low budget that's $1 million, you know, crazy low budget." William H. Macy in it, crazy, you know. So, you know, that was their low budget. And so at one of the film festivals, they honestly called our film No Budget. It wasn't micro budget, it was called No Budget. But you can start a project with no budget. I mean, with a very low budget. You can make a great project with a very low budget. Our series, you'd have a hard time buying a used '91 Chevy Cavalier at our budget price. But you can't necessarily sustain a series like ours for that same thing. So what I was able to do is I was able to call in favors, like my Dell downloads. I was able to...
Is this our sponsor? Is that where we're able to afford the panel?
It is now. We want to get some stuff from Dell. But I was able to call in favors. I was able to call in favors. I was able to, you know, kind of inspire people to want to, you know, devote their time, because they all had full-time jobs. It's a night shoot. I was able to get them to do this. I was able to get the ladies from our church and my grandmother to do catering. You know, you're able to do that. I can't keep going back to those same people. Hey, season 2, you know, let's what are you guys doing?
That mac and cheese was really good, Grandma. Can you make another 20 pounds?
Exactly. And honestly, feed everyone. That's the best way to make people come back. Just give them good food. Yeah. That's what we found. We didn't get to pay people barely anything, but we spent a lot on food, and that was like, they're like, oh, this is like the best food they've had. I'm like, oh, great, there you go.
But our goal was our particular goal was to show people what we were capable of with very little, and then hope that we could get them to trust us with a little bit more.
Yeah.
I noticed the air quotes during the keynote when you said 2 times you said transmedia.
Was it condescending?
You did this, okay? So I really wanted to know, and I did ask this in a tweet, you know, what is your kind of feeling there? I mean, I happen to be working on a comic book that I would like to turn into a video first, but that's because that's where my skills are. But where do you feel about this whole...
I think it's just the word sounds sort of, it's not the actual idea. I think that you should have media across all kinds of properties. You know, why not do, you know, kill this video, but it's also a comic book, and it'd be perfect for a game. It's meant to be that way, and it should live across multiple platforms, and that's the great thing about creating worlds, is you can have it be tons of different places. You can have, like, we have like a game, we have a book coming out. It's like you can build and build and build and keep expanding on it in more than just one medium. I don't know what it is about trans that makes it sound sort of dirty.
It's just a really stupid word, and people use it because they don't know, they just want to, I just hate it. Because what does it mean? It means nothing. I mean, listen, transmedia is any comic book that ever became a movie before the internet. I mean, it's just...
It's any novelization of a movie.
Yes,
that's
anything
is transmedia.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I don't think that they're just throwing it around because it's a catchphrase, and it's like, yes, let's create a web series that potentially could be a TV show that could potentially become a movie. You know, like, that's not transmedia. I mean, I think what people are aspiring to, and what people are maybe, you know, could use better words or just articulate better, is that there's an opportunity to reinvent storytelling. So that if I sat down and I created an app, let's just say, and every day I would tell the story in a different way. So I would release a comic panel, and then I would release a piece of video, and then I would release a set of pictures, and then I would say, and I could tell a story in so many different ways that would accumulate in a way that essentially would be like a movie from beginning to end. And you could use a different media device, because we are in a world where all of that is amalgamated in a way that is unique to what we're living in and the tools we're using. So maybe that's what we might do, but sometimes people just use it like, we're just gonna do a TV show that is gonna be a web series and then a TV show. So I don't know.
I
What do
think
you
people
guys
think of it as like Power Rangers, where it's like you have the video component and the game and the book and the social media, and it's supposed to somehow come together and make like the Megazord, like Ultra Machine. And I think it's like not every property needs to have 20 different ancillary outshoots.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a useless word, but on the other hand, like when a word comes out and a lot of people use it, you kind of have to think, well, why are they using it? And a lot of it is what Felicia says, they don't really understand. And I'm in the TV business, I'm in the digital side of the TV business, and I'm constantly explaining to people who only understand TV. And if you only understand TV, I mean, TV is incredibly complex. To get one episode of TV is like super, super amazingly complex. So their minds are generally wrapped around TV 24/7. It's hard for them to really branch out. There are somebody like Amy Bird is a great one, and a whole bunch of other people. A lot of them tend to be writers. But so what TV executives tend to think of when they use the word transmedia is all that stuff around the show that happens concurrently with the show. A lot of it never happened before. Like I joke that novelizations are transmedia, but a lot of times they came out like, right before, right after the movie or whatever, but you weren't like getting the book on your way out of the movie theater, you know what I mean? And now it's like, well, you can go, like with Battlestar Galactica, we did web series, you can watch the TV series, and then while you were doing that, literally at the same time, you can click on web series and all sorts of stuff. So I think it's more like, it's when you do it, it's not what you do, and it's how much you do is kind of what transmedia is. But I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that hates that word.
Help us find a new name. I do not want to.
I've been trying, dude.
Story architecture was what I heard.
Architecture,
The man
yes.
in the front row.
Thank you.
Doesn't media mean all of it? Isn't
What?
it media just the broad term?
Yeah,
Even
transmedia is
the
basically
trans-
anything that happens to be media.
Transmedia is when you meet, you think it's a guy, but then you're like, oh, that's something else there.
I mean, what's wrong with three-dimensional storytelling? I'm gonna go for that one because I'm just.
I live in San Francisco. I don't want it on my business
We had a
card.
thing and we did 4D storytelling, and I was just like, what are we, time traveling? Didn't like Kurt and Spock play like a 4D game of chess or something?
Collage.
Okay, we have time, I believe, for one more question. All right.
I guess I've got it. My name is Ben Dyer, and I've got a question about the flip side of the budget issue, and that is, what is the life cycle revenue expectation for one of these series? I'm just kind of curious what the side is. Or billion. Is it billions? That's the question.
Of pennies.
Oh, there was something. I was, there's a little tech snobbery going on with the web video world. I'll just put it out there. I don't mince words. And I think that it's weird. And I was wondering, why aren't these angel investors and these private parties, why are they not interested in investing in content? And somebody explained to me very well. They're like, I could give you $100,000 to make one web series, maybe, and you would still be calling in, lots and lots of favors, and you might get 10 to 12 episodes. If you're really, really scrappy, maybe 20. And you might make a return on investment, maybe triple, no quadruple, or you can invest that same amount in the next Twitter, a guy with an app that's going to make, $50 billion. And I was like, oh, so that's why the tech side hasn't come to the storytelling side as much as you think. Although there's some great tech websites and, video sites and stuff like that. But clearly it is an experimental world and we're all working on low budget. And I'm sure you can talk more about the ROI of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I can actually, because everything I buy, I have to be able to pay for, right? I don't like just get this pot of money and I get to go spend it. That's what marketing is, because I don't do marketing. So that was a little jab. If you're a marketer, yes, that was easy. So right now, so this is kind of our third bite at the apple for a Sci-Fi channel, looking at web series. We started them, I think, in like '99 or something like that. Yeah, it was fun. We didn't really do anything. Kind of hit our stride with Battlestar Galactica. We did a lot of stuff. We did 3 different series with Battlestar. And when we were talking about release strategy, I realized each of them was released in a completely different way, so I don't even know how to but now it's really come around to the point where we have very clear ways to make money. So sci-fi.com is an adjunct of Sci-Fi channels, you probably all know. One of the things that people like to do for a TV network when they're buying ads is they like to buy online ads and on-air ads. So essentially, we sell a lot of online video ads. The only thing that you can run an online video ad in front of is other video, right? So we put full episodes of our TV shows, but we're very limited in our ability to do that. So we knew that if we could come in with a couple web series, and Reese was the first one that we really tried it with, if we can add in, and our kind of baseline is like 1 million streams. Like if we can get 1 million streams on something, then we'll be doing okay in terms of breaking even if we don't pay, or if our outlay isn't that big. But there's other ways too, so we're a partner with Hulu. Hulu runs Reese and our other web stuff. and we get a cut of the ads that run in front of it. They're sold on Amazon, which I think we made at least $4.73 off of selling stuff on Amazon so far, but you know, it's out there. We sell on, that's true. We sell, I don't even think it was $4. We sell on Xbox, and we have a lot of ways to do it. We're looking at mobile because there's a lot of mobile video ads that are coming there, or there's microtransactions. The other thing is you may have heard that NBC Universal was bought by Comcast. Comcast is a big cable distribution company. One of the things that cable distribution companies have is non-linear video on demand channels where you can just put stuff up there and people can go sampling. Some of those are free, FVOD, and some of them are paid and stuff like that. So we're going to be experimenting. But right now we can do enough in terms of money with video ads that we can kind of get ourselves off the ground, and then we're just trying to experiment with all this stuff. And you know, the web industry is moving so quickly in terms of financing. I mean, I had a whole business plan for this web series, which I won't say, but it was based on a TV show that a lot of people really liked and everyone was very excited about. And by the time we signed the deal, like 2 of the things that were in the deal were no longer in existence in terms of avenues that we had for outlets. And 2 more had come up, so I'm like, just like taking the deal, crossing out one word and writing in a new word. And then by the time we signed the deal, I actually had to go back and cross out another word. And you know, I'm like, you know, I can't even remember what it, but you know, something pre-YouTube, and now I'm like Hulu, you know what I mean? Mobile, you know, and stuff like that. And a while ago, it used to be DVD. You could do any of this stuff and put it on DVD and make a ton of money. Now the DVD stuff is gone completely out the window. You really can't make any money on DVD. Cross off DVD is, you know, but add in something else. So it really depends on where you're distributing, but we distribute across multiple transmedia platforms. So that's how we do it.
I think the reality is that more and more money is entering the space, and people are figuring out the business models. I think Hollywood was very hesitant to change their business model, and so they weren't embracing the creation of online media. But with successes like The Guild and other projects out there, I think they're taking another look at it, and the advertising world is noticing. They're noticing that there are super fans and very engaged people who evangelize about these shows, and they can sell to them.
Yeah, we get an ad buy on The Guild, we have a DVD afterwards, we have YouTube rev share, we have t-shirts, we have a comic through
It's on iTunes, it's on retail stores.
You can buy, you can stream for free with rev share. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways, and we, you know, basically would look like, hey, we want to be on there. No, I don't want to sell the rights to my DVD. You're stupid. I want another DVD company. All right, we'll go with you. And so we found a way, we're in stores, so just because we found a really good partner who also does Dr. Horrible to get us, even though we still own the show, into, you know, Best Buys and Barnes and Nobles and all that stuff. So there is a way to do it that way, but I think there are a lot more advertising dollars. You know.
And also, you should say merchandising can be huge on the web.
Yeah.
It's like, I know, and I can't say, but there's someone I know who does a web series, and they don't make any money on that. And I'm like, yeah, what do you make on t-shirts? It's like, yeah, $30,000 a month. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And
Yes.
I'm like, really? Can I have that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that's like the web series. They wouldn't have t-shirts without the web series, but the web series isn't really doing anything for them, but the t-shirts are.
Okay, on that note, we have to end, but we want to thank you all. We want to thank Nappy.